I'll discuss an interesting problem on variable mass. If you see this diagram, if it is clear, there is a chain, coiled chain placed on table. Suppose this is the table. I have chain placed here. I don't have the chain, so I can't show it. And then chain is going up through a pulley and hanging besides the table. So this distance is very small. This distance is very small. This problem may not be relevant for JEE directly, but it helps in understanding certain concepts. These concepts can be applied in other problems. No harm in just going through it. So this is an arrangement. There is a pulley. This pulley is massless. Chain is coiled here. It is rising, going across the pulley and continuously moving down once it is released. At t is equal to 0, this part B of the chain is overhanging from the pulley, and this part A, this length A is the distance between the table and the pulley, top of the pulley, like this. You can say this is the distance A and this is the distance B. Even if I take up to center and ignore this small thing, even then it's okay, but you can take it like this also. And this is where the chain starts rising from this point, and whole chain is coiled here. So ignore that small distance that will change when the chain will start falling down. So this is the idea in the problem. We have to find the motion of the chain. We have to write the equation for the motion of the chain and what will be the velocity of the chain when it has fallen, say, certain distance x, not fallen certain distance x, but when the lower end is at a distance x. So we should be very careful in choosing the words. Means it is falling x minus b. The length which has fallen is x minus b, but the distance of the lower end from this point, this reference point, is x. So it can be given anyway. So one has to be very careful when one reads the problem. And let lambda be mass per unit length and m be the mass of the chain and L be the total length of the chain. I am concerned with lambda right now. If the total length of chain is given as L, capital L, and capital M is the mass of the chain. Now let us see how the motion happens. Let us take an instant where, and I should also mention B is greater than A, only then it will start falling. At certain instants, say the lower end is at a distance x. So what is the tension here and tension here? Let us see. Because I am assuming this pulley to be massless, and let me take tension here at the top, at the common point, tension T1, and let me take one point here as T2. Means if I look at the pulley, this is one point where I take tension T1 in the chain, and here the chain starts rising, which is lying on the table, and where it starts rising means this point, just this point where the chain is lying in the coil shape. At this point where it starts rising, the tension is T2. Means moment you give T2 tension to this point, this mass which was at zero velocity acquires some velocity v, and if this mass is delta dm, small mass of the chain is having mass dm, its change in momentum is dm into v minus 0, because initially this mass was at rest and this tension T2 has pulled it. I'll come to it. Let me do sequentially. I have just mentioned this in advance. So there are two important points. One is T1, another is T2, and these are the tensions also. Incidentally, you can call them points along with the value of tension at that point. Now if I write the equation for this chain which is moving, this part of chain is moving starting from here, going above the pulley, and if I draw an enlarged diagram, this is the part which is moving from here to here. What is the length of chain which is moving? Length of chain which is moving is, this is A and this is X. So it is A plus X is the length of chain which is moving. what is the acceleration of this length, or before that let me write what is the mass of this length. If lambda is the mass per unit length, the mass of this length of chain is lambda times a plus x. What is the acceleration of this moving part? The acceleration of this moving part is d square x upon dt square. That is the rate at which this rate of change of the velocity of this end. If this end is say z, at what rate the velocity of z is changing. The whole chain is not stretching, it is inextensible, and we are ignoring whatever small relative motions might be happening between the links. We are ignoring that. So whatever is the velocity of this end is the velocity of the entire moving part of the chain. Whatever is the velocity of this end is the velocity of the entire chain, and whatever is the acceleration of this end is the acceleration of the entire moving part of the chain. What is this mass, this side of the chain? The mass of this side of the chain is lambda times x. Let me write the equation of motion for this part first. I could have written complete equation of motion. Actually T1 was not required. I could have done little bit faster, but I want to, basically the idea of taking this lecture is to encourage students to think in terms of the variable mass also. So if I skip one step, you may get disillusioned. So let me do it. I am doing it in a slightly lengthier manner. That is why I have picked this point. I could have avoided this point very easily. Now let me take this part of the chain. Mass is lambda x. This is mass. What is the acceleration? D square x upon dt square is the acceleration. And what is making it move is this hanging part, mg of this part. What is the mass of this part is again lambda x into g. This is what is making it move. What is stopping it? Tension T1 minus T1. Now let me write equation for this part of the chain. What is the mass which is moving is a lambda. What is the acceleration of this is d square x upon dt square. This was moving downwards, this is moving upwards. What is making it move is T1, and what is opposing its movement is minus a lambda g. A lambda g, and another thing here is minus T2, because this end is not free. Here this end was free, so another force was not required. Here this T1 is pulling it. This chain is being pulled by T1, and the mass downwards, weight downwards is a lambda g is pulling it downwards, and T2 is also pulling it downwards. So T2 will also come here. I add these equation, T1 gets cancelled. That is what I was saying. I could have written the entire equation for this moving part without writing T1, but I have done that. So it becomes lambda x plus a d square x upon dt square is equal to lambda g x minus a minus T2 is the equation of motion which I have got. Now what is the value of T2? Here I will use this relationship. T2 is the tension which is trying to stop this part which is moving upwards, and trying to give velocity to the part which starts moving, and the change in momentum of the part which starts moving is this. So what is dp upon dt? Is v times dm upon dt, rate of change of momentum of this dm small part which has just started moving. And what is dp upon dt? Rate of change of momentum is nothing but force. This is that tension. So don't say that we have to take the component. Actually it is somewhere here. It is just, chain is just starting moving upwards. So link is somewhere here. T2 is actually acting upwards, and chain is somewhere lying like this. So this assumption has to be made. So this is actually T2. So value of T2 is v times dm upon dt. Now what is the value of dm upon dt? Value of dm upon dt, you should also note whenever there is a variable mass, when there is rope is moving, it is nothing but lambda times v. How it is lambda times v, that you can also prove it, because if take a small mass dm in the length dx is lambda dx. Small length of chain is dx, that small mass is lambda times dx, so dm upon dt is lambda times dx upon dt, and dx upon dt, how the length is changing, is v, so it is lambda times v. So all this extra thing I will have to remove. So dm upon dt you should know is lambda times v, so t2 is v square lambda. Now I put the value of t2 there, I get, and lambda, let me write here, I will write here and I will rub these things, so I retain only the relevant part because I need space. So value of t2 is this much. Let me write the equation here now. Lambda x plus a d square x upon dt square plus t2 is v square lambda is equal to lambda g x minus a. Lambda gets cancelled, so it is x plus a d square x upon dt square plus v square is equal to g x minus a. Now this is a differential equation, and these equations come very frequently in physics, so and there is not a very difficult method to solve such equations. First of all, always replace this. This is nothing but dv upon dt. d square x upon dt is nothing but dv upon dt, and in physics in many problems you will replace dv by dt as v dv upon dx, because if I write dv upon dx into dx upon dt, it is same as dv upon dt. So dx upon dt is v, so it is v dv upon dx. So that is how we replace this. It becomes easy to solve, v dv upon dx. This method you should just try to remember. Now it is very interesting differential equation, and if I multiply both sides by x plus a, just see how interesting it becomes. X plus a whole square v dv upon dx plus v square x plus a is equal to g x square minus a square. Now just see, little bit of mathematics, differential equation you should know to solve this problem. Now this is, what does it indicate? This has to be done based on practice. Actually you will start knowing it. If I write d x plus a whole square into v square, what do I get? If I write like this, d times this by dx, if I write like this, what do I get? I get twice x plus a v square dx upon dx, plus I get twice v dv upon dx into x plus a whole square. This is what I get. Only thing is I need to multiply it by 2 whole equation. So this thing I can easily replace as this, because same thing I am getting. If there is some mistake you can check it yourself. This is what you can replace with this equation. So what I do is I multiplied both sides by 2. I get this as d x plus a whole square v square is equal to twice g x square minus a square into dx. So this is differential of whole. So differential of whole, and this is differential in terms of dx. So differential d of u is u. So it is d of x plus a whole square v square. So it is x plus a whole square v square is equal to, and this side when I differentiate, x varies from b to x. So I get twice g is common, x cube upon 3 minus a square x, put limit from b to x. So it becomes twice g x cube minus b cube upon 3 minus a square into x minus b is what I get after putting the limits. This just put the algebra equation, twice g is outside. It is x minus b times x square plus b square plus xb minus a square x minus b. Lot of maths is there in this, so don't get disillusioned, but it is interesting. It is twice g upon 3. I take x minus b as common, so it becomes x square plus b square plus xb minus 3a square, and the value of v square is divided by x plus a whole square. Answer maybe a little bit here and there. I try to do it very fast to save the time, so just recheck the answer yourselves. Idea is how to do this problem by taking the variable length, velocity, acceleration of different parts and tensions of critical points.